Well, that was one wild match, one wild shootout. And Sarah, didn't you tell me you didn't like shootouts anymore?
I recall saying that, and I take it back. I like them again.
Wild, wild, wild match. And we loved it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. England and Colombia played. That's going to be a different video. We're going to talk about them. But obviously, we know that England moved on. We're going to talk about that match and maybe a different video. But this one's all about Australia because the Australia match was wild. That shootout was wild. I don't even have a vested interest in either one of these teams. I guess I was more rooting for Australia, but I could not watch. I had to turn off the TV when it was live.
Meanwhile, I had my eyes glued to the TV. I couldn't stop watching.
Yeah, I couldn't watch. But that's what we're going to talk about. Sam Kerr played for most of the second half. We're going to read a little bit about this. Also, timestamps down below because we have another Kristie sighting. So look out for that. But we're going to read from this. Okay.
Sam Kerr and the Matildas make history by beating France in World Cup's longest penalty shootout ever, thanks to Mackenzie Arnold's heroics and Courtney Vine's winner in Brisbane. A record 20 penalty shots needed to decide winner. 3 saves from Mackenzie Arnold, key to victory. The Matildas have made history by reaching the semifinals of the Women's World Cup for the first time after beating France 0-0, but 7-6 on penalties in the longest shootout in history of the tournament.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. This was the game that never ended. It did not want to end. I mean, it almost cut into the England-Colombia game because it went on for so long. But that shootout was wild. The game, though, I mean, it went 0-0 into penalties. And there was a lot of ups and downs for both teams. The 8th minute, the 12th minute, and the 28th minute, and the 32 minutes. There was all close calls by France, so they weren't messing around. In the 41st minute, there was a sensational block. France kind of had a miscommunication. I believe it was miscommunication on the back line. And then Mary Fowler went to shoot it. And then right in front of the goal, Almeida, they went in, blocked it, and it was beautiful. That was a great block. I mean, that was like the block of the game, the block of the tournament. It was a great block. I think we've talked about this, especially from the Euros last year, maybe even from when the Netherlands won in 2017 at the Euros, that you can never underestimate that home crowd advantage. Obviously, France, they were the home team in 2019 at the World Cup. They made it to the quarterfinals in the 2019 World Cup. And they've actually never made it to the finals of any major tournament. I'm kind of jumping ahead now, but 2024, the Olympics are going to be in France in 2024. So
They get their redemption?
Yeah, they're ready for their hometown glory in the Olympics. I'm predicting they're going to win the Olympics.
A little too soon.
I know. I always do this. I want to talk about one kind of controversial play that happened. In the 100th minute, there was a wild sequence where everything went wrong. And I'm sure everyone knows that this is where I thought France had the game. But in the 100th minute, there was a corner kick awarded to France, which it was not supposed to be clear. You could see that it went out. Right from that corner kick, there was kind of a scrum in the box, and then the ball went in the net. I'm going to read from here. France players celebrate after Alana Kennedy deflects the ball into her own net, but the goal is disallowed for a foul by Wendie Renard on Caitlin Ford in the build-up. If they had scored, even though they weren't supposed to have the corner kick to begin with, that would have been very infuriating for Australia. So, I mean, everything went wrong there, but then I guess it kind of worked out. We talked about it yesterday about the refs and stuff, but if you look at where she was and where Caitlin was, it looked like Caitlin was already kind of falling, and that maybe Wendie gave a little tug of the shirt. But a lot of people didn't necessarily think that should have not allowed that goal.
I don't know if I saw a tug of the shirt or anything. I don't know.
I did see people, again, talking about the officiating, which obviously I think any major tournament, someone's always going to talk about the officiating just because, referees aren't perfect. And sometimes there is missed calls. And sometimes you have a missed call and you're going to get the calls, and sometimes you're not going to get the calls. I'm going to read a couple comments because I saw a lot of people talking about they thought that the ref was biased for Australia.
France was robbed. That Renard goal should have stood. Tell me what's the foul in struggling for ball with your opponent in a corner kick. Also, France should have had a penalty with the handball by Australia in their box. If tide was turned, it would have been a penalty against France.
I mean, I just picked one comment that I saw, but I did see a lot of people commenting that they thought the ref was biased. Now, I always hate saying that because I don't want to ever discredit what Australia did. And someone said, they both got breaks. There was plenty of chances where France really should have had a foul or France really should have had something, and it didn't go their way. So it kind of doesn't work out in the end. If you look at it the way of they both had their chances go to the PK, and they both in the PK shootout equally could have had the chance to win. The first PK out of France, Bacha, she missed her PK. And also, when Steph CATLEY went up to take her PK and she missed it. Mackenzie Arnold, another goalie, taking a PK, but she did not convert. And that was going to be match point. That if she would have made it, that would have been match point.
When you're in that position where you could have won it all, it's like, how do you, like the announcer said, how do you recover from that?
Right. You just have to completely put it out of your mind. Then Dali, that was kind of crazy where Mackenzie Arnold came off her line and then she got to redo it, but then she also missed. So
yeah, that was wild.
So yeah, at that point he missed two, and she went the same way, which I guess it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. Are you going to go the same way or opposite? Claire Hunt missed hers, and the French player missed hers, and that means Courtney Vine, if she made it, they would be the winners, and Australia wins. I mean, it was quite a game. And like I said, I don't think the referee was perfect, and I don't think refereeing's ever perfect. But I do think, the question is also, is the level of referees good enough for these women? And that's another question. They need the best. Are these the best refs? Also, this referee, she was very indecisive, it seemed like. Was it a corner kick? Wasn't a corner kick? Whose corner kick? Because apparently VR doesn't do corner kicks. But it's like, to have all that technology, and then is it making the game better? I think it is. I think it is making it fair overall. But I can see, at first I was like, how could you not like VAR? How could you not like it? But now I can see how you don't like it, because
it's very hateable in some moments.
Yeah. I'm pumped for Australia. I saw everyone in Sydney going crazy, everyone in Brisbane going crazy.
Yeah, it was so exciting. I even saw this on TikTok. There was people watching it on the plane, and I'm guessing they were Australian, and they were all cheering when they saw that they were going through.
But yeah, so super excited. So Sam Kerr makes her penalty, and she's pumped. She came in. She did pretty well, but she came in at the 55-minute mark, makes her penalty. She has a good game. She's back. Maybe, I don't know if she's on limited minutes for the next game, but maybe she'll start. But who was there after the game to congratulate Sam Kerr?
I'm going to go with KRISTIE MEWIS for $300.
It was Kristie, and there's some really cute pictures. And I apologize. I think I'm going to make their picture the thumbnail.
Why is that an apology?
Because I think most people would say that the game was more important, but I say love is more important.
That's true. Love is all year round.
Yes, exactly. But cute pictures and of them embracing after Sam's win. But two things about this. So the question is, how long is Kristie going to be in Australia? Because
until the very end.
I hope.
That's my input.
I hope so. But I read something. Someone left a comment last time when we posed that question. They said that the U.S. women's national team I think they said 7 to 10 days, but they have to be back for August 19th is going to be the first regular season game. That's not Challenge Cup. That's regular season game. So they have to be back by the 19th, 18th or 19th, which would mean Kristie would miss the final if Sam makes it to the final. And the other thing I will say, apparently ESPN put that picture of them kissing or embracing on their Instagram. So they put it, and apparently a lot of people were liking it, but apparently they got a lot of hate comments in the comment section. Like, we don't want to see this. We don't care about this. Or some even just like, it's like anti-LGBT.
I wish you could see my face of disgust right now at those people. Like, what the heck?
And apparently they removed it. So it was almost at 100,000 likes on Instagram, but ESPN removed it, I think, because of the hate comments.
Ugh, I hate haters.
Yeah. Which is like, okay, if you don't like it, just scroll off. No one, I don't know. But they left it on their Twitter. So it was on Instagram. They deleted it. Hey, maybe Sam or Kristie said, hey, can you delete that? Because I don't want people to focus on that too. That's very possible too.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just thought about that. Also, someone said about Pernelle, Magda has moved on, but apparently Pernelle has already gone back to Denmark. So Pernelle will not be watching the semifinal or the final. I mean, they have other commitments at home with their club teams or, other commitments. Or, Pernelle wants to be there for her team because
a team who wins together stays together, and a team who loses together also stays together.
Exactly. But apparently Lynn Williams is also still in Australia because her fiance is Australian, so apparently she's still there with him. So maybe Kristie and Linny will be on the same plane back to New Jersey. So
cute.
What does everyone think? Congratulations to the Australian team, the Australian fans, the whole continent of Australia, and congrats to everyone there. I feel bad for France. They've had a tough year too. They had, a lot of clubs are having problems with their federations. They are no different than anyone else. But I'm saying France 2024, the Olympics, they're winning the Olympics. And also, I think it's going to be Sweden and Australia in the finals. But we're going to talk about that more getting closer, but that's just my gut reaction.
Interesting. I think England's going to sneak in there.
Okay.
And I know Sam Kerr only does backflips if she hits a hat trick. Mm-hmm. But will she do a backflip if they win the World Cup?
A double backflip.
A triple. No. She keeps going and she can't stop. Somebody stop her.
Questions, comments down below. We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.